happy relationships. EI makes you a better person who understands their own emotions, the emotions of the people around, and who has the ability to manage these emotions to create better relationships with them. We will discuss this in greater detail. Emotional intelligence is a critical intelligence in creating and developing meaningful relationships. There are a lot of significant links between proficiency in EI and successful and long term interpersonal relations. People who exhibit higher levels of EI also tend to emphasize and look at things from various aspects, cooperate with others, develop affection, and greater satisfaction in relationships. All this makes EI a prerequisite for building happy relationships and greater social skills generally. Personal relationships. What is it about some people that always do well in relationships? What makes them so cool to be around? Do they have a superpower that they use to keep all of their relationships string along nicely? The answer to the last question is yes. They do have a superpower and it is called emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the secret ingredient in long lasting intimate relationships mostly because EI helps us to be extremely aware of all changes, no matter how large or small, that are continually occurring in ourselves and the people around us. Rising your EI will enable you to have the sensitivity that everyone of us is always looking for in a life partner. EI will give you the power to automatically sense and understand through self awareness and empathy the otherwise unnoticeable changes in the dynamics of your personal relationships that will prompt you to act. What makes a happy or healthy relationship? The primary virtues of a strong relationship are respect, loyalty, and understanding. And understanding is the mother of all virtues in relationships. Here, we are not just talking about the relationship between you and your spouse, but all of your relationships with the different people in your life. Your relationship with your significant other is a major part of your life, and your relationships with all the other different people in your personal life, such as your kids, parents, friends, and relatives, are also a huge determinant of the quality of life. With a raised EI, you will be able to make all of your relationships better alike. All of us have the potential and power to manifest the kind of love in our lives that we all dream of, bonds of intimacy and kindness, genuinely committed and soulful caring for each other. All this just because of the empathy and innate ability to share our emotional experiences with each other. The properties of AI that helps us in our personal relationships are smart emotional awareness to avoid mistaking lust or infatuation for genuine love, looking out for the emotions that could potentially harm your relationship if left to fester, and active awareness or vigilance that reminds us of what is working and what isn't. Luckily for you, one does not have to have picked their EI to attain success in their love life. In fact, for most people, falling in love and embarking on their love life serves as motivation and experience for raising their EI. This is why many passionate lovers are in their 80s. Through they discover that both the people in a couple having high EI adds up to a permanent and never ending romance which never loses excitement and always gets stronger, both collectively as well as individually. Imagine yourself in an argument with your husband or wife. You are arguing about something that you are not really concerned about, and you know that it won't bother you. Still, your spouse is anxious about that specific thing because they are very emotionally attached to it. Let's say You are arguing about selling your old home. So, in the heat of the argument, you get angry and you pass some really careless remarks about the house because you don't really believe that keeping the house is the right financial decision, belittling its significance for your spouse. So, very soon and very easily, you have offended your spouse and you don't just know about it yet. You go on reprimanding your spouse harshly about being so emotional all the time, completely ignoring the way they feel about the house or how they are feeling at the moment. Now, rewind all this scene and start it all over again. This time, you play the role of an emotionally intelligent character. When you start arguing about your home with your spouse, when you begin with a discussion, through empathy, you are aware that your spouse is very attached to the place they have spent their life at. The moment you realize this, there and then you have found the way to end the argument in a good decisive way rather than ending it with shouting at each other. You may or may not succeed in convincing your spouse, but surely you will not damage your relationship in the process. When you know that your spouse is arguing so energetically because of their emotional attachment to the place, you will not get angry at all, and this way you won't lose control of what you are saying. You would be perfectly aware of what to say and what not to, so you don't hurt their feelings. This is just one example of how emotional intelligence enables you to take care of your relationship. Your EI is not only limited to a few instances. Every time you find yourself in a situation like this, you will employ your emotional intelligence to overcome the situation. You will end each such situation with a stronger relationship than before, rather than hurting your partner's feelings and weakening your bond. Furthermore, having an emotionally intelligent partner is a cherry on the cake. With both you and your spouse being emotionally intelligent, the chances of you getting into a heated fight or hurting each other's feelings amount to zero. Emotional intelligence removes the factor of fear from a relationship. Fear from change is something prevalent in relationships between couples today, even though change guarantees the long life of a relationship. When you leave behind the fear of change, you will discover that change does not always mean worse. More often than not, and when engineered by EI, things come out way better than before after change. For instance, a relationship of yours tends to grow in a direction that you don't want is bound to grow in another direction. Maybe a course that you don't want. Hence, by embracing change, you will receive a good result for taking your chances in the form of optimism and courage. Professional relationships. Most of us spend 8 hours a day in our respective workplaces, living completely different lives at the office and at the home. We from a lot of acquaintances, associations, friendships, and even lifelong relationships with our colleagues at work. To achieve the best at work, you need to improve your relationships with the people you work with. Here is how emotional intelligence helps you. Higher EI means you are better at teamwork. Teamwork is an integral part of every success story in the corporate or business world. Teams that have emotionally intelligent teammates have all they need to work together successfully. Excellent communication, mutual trust among the members, and valuing each other's contributions are unique traits that ensure strength and chemistry in the team. Whenever a member makes a suggestion, the other teammates can understand their emotions and respond positively. Better communication. With high EI, you can express yourself more clearly. By knowing how your colleagues feel about a particular matter, you can engage them in the conversation actively. This way, you gain respect and create an active and productive network of communication. Furthermore, EI enables you to solve problems better with a calm attitude. You can communicate your thoughts smoothly and makes you open to receiving feedback from others. This will enable you to have a peaceful environment in the workplace and to achieve success in a short period. Handle the tough situations easily. In the line of work, there are many instances where you need to keep calm in crunch situations. When you have to handle an angry client or an upset fellow employee, awkwardly, tough conversations take a toll on your emotional health. An emotionally intelligent person has the right skills to handle conversations like these. They are able to connect with the other person and recognize their emotions. This sort of emotional connection helps them to deal with tough situations efficiently, and awareness of their own emotions helps them to stay calm and composed. Build trust. Emotionally intelligent people have people skills. They know how to quickly build a relationship of trust with people who are little more than acquaintances. With a higher AI, you are well on your way to become the favorite person in the workplace. You will be able to understand other people's behavior and their feelings that are hidden beneath, a fantastic trait to have when you are in a team. This way, you can become everyone's best friend. It makes you a leader. Great leaders can understand people. They know how to influence them. They know how people work and how they can inspire them. Thus, you must have a high EI if you want to become a great leader. As we have stated before, the benefits that will accrue from EI are unlimited. All the benefits discussed above, personal and social, are not even half of all the benefits of AI out there. With every new situation being impacted differently by AI, you can only imagine the value when you practically apply AI in your life, and the upcoming chapters are going to tell you how. How to raise your AI. Being an astronaut is, by all means, the most challenging job in the world. With all the tough academic proficiency, one needs to have high expertise in physics and engineering. More than 1,000 hours of flying time and a fit and healthy body are only the basic requirements in an individual to become an astronaut. On top of all that, you need to be really smart. Lisa Novak had all of these and was selected by NASA to become an astronaut. There is no doubt that she had sky high IQ. But what about AI? Here is why that is important. In February 2007, Lisa discovered that her spouse was cheating on her, and she enraged drove 900 kilometers from Houston to Orlando for 15 hours without a break in a diaper to kidnap the woman with whom her spouse was cheating on her. To kidnap the woman, Lisa took with her zip ties, garbage bags, pepper spray, and a lot of other stuff that she intended to use to kidnap the woman. When Lisa reached her woman target, she had an emotional breakdown before she could get the woman out of her car. This led to her being arrested. This is empirical evidence that even if you are as intelligent as Lisa Novak, emotional intelligence is an indispensable requirement to live a peaceful and happy life. Your IQ is something that you are born with. Admittedly, there are many exercises that you can do to raise your IQ, but still, your IQ is predetermined as a natural talent, with some people being brilliant and some not so intelligent. But with AI, that is not the case. Even the smartest people like Lisa are not proficient in EI and vice versa because EI is not an inherent trait. It is something that you mostly develop yourself as you go through life. So, EI, unlike the relatively more rooted IQ, is a more dynamic aspect of your psychology. It includes behavioral characteristics that can be improved when worked upon to yield unlimited benefits. The skills that, when combined, make EI can be learned individually at any time in your life. However, it is critical to bear in mind that there is a significant difference between merely learning about EI and practically applying that information in life. Only learning about EI will raise your EQ but will not make you an emotionally intelligent person. Only knowing that you should be doing something doesn't necessarily mean you will, especially when you are flooded with emotions. Your most definite intentions can be caused. To incorporate EI in your life and to permanently change your behavior, even when you are under pressure, you need to teach yourself how to overcome stress on the spot. Here is what you can do to improve in each of the subcategories of EI and become emotionally intelligent. Strategies to improve self awareness. Self awareness is the foundation of EI. When you are self aware, you can observe where your thoughts and emotions are taking you. Here is what you should be doing to become more self aware. Look at yourself objectively. Trying to view yourself as you really are is a tough process, but if you make a sincere effort and take the right measures, getting an objective perspective of yourself can incredibly enrich life. Being able to see yourself as you really are enables you to recognize your strengths and weaknesses and accept them. Only then can you find ways to improve yourself by improving your shortcomings and encouraging your strengths. Try to resolve what your current understanding of yourself is by jotting down your perceptions about yourselves. This includes the areas that you think you do well in and the areas you need to improve in. The goal is to understand what motivates you. This is where you link self awareness with motivation. Do not compare yourself to anyone else. Your only competition should be with yourself. Contemplate on what makes you proud. Think about your accomplishments that make you stand out and are unique to you. While thinking about your accomplishments, notice if that sense of pride makes you arrogant. Pride in yourself is good, arrogance is not. Differentiating between the past and present you is excellent food for thought. Think about your childhood. Think about what things made you happy. Think about if they make you happy now. What things have changed and which ones have stayed the same. When you see how much you have changed over the years, when you dig deeper and uncover the reason behind the changes, you learn more about yourself. It is incredible that even when we are adults, our mental age grows each year. For example, when you are going through your posts on Facebook that you made last year, you feel like you have changed so much since then and you can't connect with the older version of you. Regardless of how hard we try, we are still unable to assess our personality completely. Hence, to cover what you might have missed in your assessment of yourself, you need to ask the people around you to give honest feedback. Reflect on yourself daily. The key to the mastery of life is to be on a constant struggle to improve yourself. You are not perfect, you will never be perfect, but you can be a better. And for that, you need to introspection. Constant introspection, giving yourself feedback on where you are wrong and taking action to improve in those areas. Regular self reflection will benefit you in the long term. For this, you need to invest some time daily to have an honest and critical look at yourself as a person. Every day, every day you can think about a different aspect of yourself. Staying committed to this practice can help you improve. In our busy daily schedules, self reflection may seem a hard to do task, but it is a way easier than that. All you need to do is remember. The average working person spends 45 to 60 minutes a day waiting. While you are waiting at a checkout line at the school pickup lane, waiting at the doctor's office, you can utilize this time. Remember about self reflection in the time you are free and you are good to go. As they say, the best place to think is the toilet. You can use your time in the bathroom to self reflect. All of us use the bathroom every day, don't we? You can use the opportunity to self reflect and be regular in your practice. You can make your self reflection session more effective when you use a journal and write down your thoughts. This will help you to track your progress in EI. Practice mindful meditation. Mindful meditation is practiced with a goal to stay aware and conscious at the moment while discouraging excessive thinking about the past or being worried about the future. Mindfulness meditation helps you stay in the now. You can practice mindfulness meditation while doing virtually anything. Whatever exercise or activity enables you to get out of the past or future and enables you to concentrate on what is happening right now qualifies for a mindful meditation practice. These exercises will help you be aware of and focus on your emotions, thoughts, and sensations and observe them. Meditation and especially mindfulness meditation enables you to examine yourself, see your thought pattern without judgment. By doing this, you enter a constant cycle of self betterment and you can contemplate your thoughts, the sources of those thoughts, and what you can do to remove the negative ones and encourage the positive ones. Mindfulness meditation is practiced to increase our awareness of the current moment and also concentrate on the task at hand simultaneously. When you finish every meditational exercise, remember to take the state of mind that you have achieved with you as you enter back into your daily life. It is essential to recognize what you are feeling like and the quality of mind you have when you are meditating, and you should intend to carry it with you. For someone starting from level 0, working on self awareness is the first step. No one can be self aware all the time, but the goal is to be self aware when you are highly emotional, such as anger, grief, happiness, and so on. After learning the skill of self awareness, we use the knowledge about our emotions by applying it to ourselves through self regulation. Strategies to improve self regulation. To improve self regulation, first we need to have a good understanding of how our emotions affect our behavior. In ancient times, it was believed that emotions move our behavior. Today, we say emotions motivate behavior. Our emotions stimulate our body by sending the respective chemical signals. Anger or fear prepare us for action, while love and joy prepare us for comfort. All of our emotions motivate our behavior in three ways. They motivate us to approach, to avoid, and to attack. The emotions that motivate you to approach, they motivate us to do more of something or experience more of something. The most common approach emotions are enjoyment, love, compassion, trust, and interest. These emotions usually lead to behaviors such as encouraging, learning, pleasing, cooperating, influencing, and guiding, and protecting. The emotions that motivate you to avoid make you want to stay away from what inculcates those emotions. Emotions like fear and anxiety motivate behaviors such as ignoring or moving away. The third type of emotions is attack emotions. This is when you want to criticize, harm, devalue, or dominate what causes this emotion. Anger, contempt, and hatred are some of the attack emotions. For self regulation, you need to encourage your approach emotions, examine your avoid emotions, and discourage your attack emotions. Try to classify your emotions in one of the three categories and then act accordingly. But to act accordingly, you need to develop self regulation skills. The opposite action strategy is an effective way to overcome emotions like anger or fear. There are typical emotions that come with emotions because your emotions make you behave in certain ways. When you are angry, you might fight or speak loudly. When you are sad, you might stay alone and stay quiet. Doing the opposite of what these emotions cause you to do is the solution. When you are angry, recall that you have to do the opposite of what you want to do. You should stay quiet and reply politely. When you are sad, you should visit a friend and discuss your matter. This technique is easy to follow and you will master it in your first three encounters. Whenever you are experiencing an impulse of emotions, reflect back on your past and your experiences of taking a step when you are flooded with emotions. You can reflect on your life and recall the situations where you had overreacted or think about the things that once meant a lot to you. But now they don't matter a lot to you. When you remember all of these situations, you will instantly be reminded of how you should ideally react in a particular situation. To effectively regulate your emotions, you need to have a healthy body and mind. Your body and mind are very closely linked with your physical health, directly linked to your mental health, and the other way around. An unhealthy body means an unhealthy mind, making managing your emotions difficult. To improve self regulation, treat your illnesses, eat healthy, sleep well, stay away from mood altering drugs, and exercise. A healthy and strong body means a healthy and strong mind, and a strong mind is what you need to manage your emotions. Strategies to improve motivation. Motivation, defined in the simplest form, is the force that drives you to do things. There are many things that can motivate you externally, but that does not count as self motivation. As defined by Daniel Goleman, self motivation comprises mainly of four elements: inner drive to achieve, commitment, initiative, and optimism. On the surface, all of the four features are all primary traits for personal growth. But along with attaining success in the non social areas of life, motivation can help you improve your relationship and strengthen them. Here are some of the traits of extremely motivated people that help them to grow in every aspect of life. They are humble, they act responsibly and willing to admit when they have made a mistake, and they apologize. They have keen to hear feedback, negative or positive from other people, and they readily accept it to take steps for self betterment. This trait holds immense value for building happy relationships as well as for personal growth. Second point, they try to look at the positive side of things rather than focusing on things that aren't working or bad experiences. They focus on what is working or positive experiences. They are genuine. Third point, they are genuine. As discussed before, one of the requirements for a healthy relationship is not to lose your identity entirely. Keep your hobbies, keep doing the things you love. Don't live your life only to please others. Fourth point, they don't always blame others. A trait in many people that often leads to the destruction of relationships is a habit of always taking the blame off from themselves and throwing it on other people. A truly self motivated and individual never blames their failures on others. They understand the fact that no one other than them is responsible for their choices and actions. These are all the traits that you need to inculcate in yourself through self motivation. Commitment, initiative, and optimism, three of the four elements that make up self motivation, are all found at the very foundations of strong and healthy relationships. Commitment. Commitment is an element that is specifically for your relationship with your spouse. Starting a relationship is the easy part. Maintaining and staying committed to the relationship is a different thing altogether. That is a lot harder, but it is not impossible. Commitment comes from desire. You have to desire a person in order to stay committed to them. Everyone who wants commitment to and from their partner has to desire it and sacrifice for their better half. This requires changing the way we see ourselves and giving up things to give to someone else. Self motivation. Self motivation starts in here. You have to harness the commitment element of self motivation to ease it and improve your relationship. Initiative. Although it sounds like a trait for entrepreneurs, initiative is a crucial element for maintaining happy relationships. It requires initiative to lead in instance, to lead in communication. Pride takes us away from making progress in our relationships. For instance, when we wait and expect our partner or friend will speak first and try to clear the problem, you should be the one who breaks the ice. Attitude or pride is a taking the initiative and being the first one to speak, but it also prevents you from thinking straight. It blurs the way you look at your friendships and relationships and hinders you from seeing the bigger picture. Harness the motivation in yourself to try and overcome your pride. Another way taking initiatives is going to help you build happy relationships is making an effort and trying to do nice things for the people you value in life. Follow the doctrine of giving while not expecting anything in return. This thought not only forms the foundation for self motivation but holds significance in building happy relationships. Simple gestures like opening the door of the car for your wife or making your husband's favorite meal for dinner are examples of things that you need to motivate yourself and take the initiative for. And optimism. Optimism in relationships is the ability to look at the brighter side of the things while not wholly disregarding the negative side. As they say, optimism is like a double edged sword in relationships. Having a positive attitude is good, but keeping unrealistic expectations from other people leads to great dissatisfaction. Optimism in relationships or friendships is linked to resilience. Resilient individuals use their ability of optimism to think in a way that manages their negative emotional responses, positive or rational responses to events pertaining to their personal relationships. Simply put, they utilize their positive or rational attitude to examine and, if essential, overcome the reactions that they think are not entirely logical. Your goal should always to be think the best of the other person. Whenever in doubt, whenever unsure about anything they said or did, rather than forming negative perceptions of why they did something, you should think in a positive to try and justify why a person did what they did. By thinking this way, you deal with problems in relationships effectively 95% of the time. To improve your ability to self motive, you need to remind yourself of your goals consistently. For this purpose, you can set specific triggers around you that remind you of your goals. So, you immediately try to manage your emotions. These triggers provide you with the initial spark. Your company shapes you. Keep yourself in the company of positive and motivated individuals. Being around positive people is way better than being around negative people. Positive people not only support you in your goals, but they also serve as role models for you to follow. Think less, do more. When you are trying to find the motivation for a particular project and you find it lacking, try starting on something else. Don't get muddled up in a lot of contradictory thoughts. Start on something, no matter how small is the task you start on. This will enable you to gain the momentum to begin on the bigger stuff. When you are overthinking and worrying too much, you are not accomplishing anything and just wasting time. Write about your success in self motivation. Start to keep a journal of the emotions that effectively motivated to achieve your goals. This written evidence of your success in self motivation will help you in the future. Motivation is not just yourself for yourself. Just like one sided love doesn't work, one sided motivation too doesn't work when you want to use it to strengthen your relationships. Strategies to improve empathy. Experts say that empathy is partly an innate trait and partly acquired. You cannot affect the innate part, but through improvement, strategies, and exercises, you can improve. Humility is vital for enhancing empathy. Do things that humble you. For example, learn a new skill or hobby, learn a new language. These things push you out of your comfort zone and will improve empathy. Travel. When you leave your home or your usual places, you come to know different people. This helps you to widen your perspective and enables you to see things from others' viewpoints. Talk to people. Talk to them to gain their trust. Ask them about their life, their issues, the things that bother them. Talk to them about how they think of you and how they pursue different matters. When you come to know how different people have different tasks on specific issues, you will learn that the differentiate between perspectives is because of the different life experiences of people. Examine your biases. All of us have hidden biases. Even when you think you are entirely neutral, deep down inside your subconscious, you have some biases which hinder our ability to empathize with other people. Most of the time, our preferences are based on age, gender, race, ethnicity, and social status of other people. When you are thinking about a specific individual, monitor your thoughts and notice if any bias plays in your judgment of a matter. We all have biases, all you need is to identify them. To make empathy a habit, cultivate curiosity about strangers. Empathic individuals have a constant curiosity about people, a curiosity that pushes them to know the other person as they really are and not to know more about their life. When, committing, try to converse with the person sitting next to you. Ask yourself questions about why people might behave in a particular way. Apart from verbal communication, non-verbal communication needs to be emphasized. To, to thoroughly know about how the other person is feeling, you need to focus on body language. The way the person is moving tells a lot about what is happening inside their mind. Artifacts or appearance is another major factor. The way a person looks or dresses is a major indicator of how the person feels about themselves. Proxemics is observing the physical distance of two people keep when they are conversing with each other. We can say two people sitting close together have affection for each other, or two people talking at an awkward distance don't know each other well. Chronemics is the role of time. The time and the setting at which people say certain things matters a lot. Vocalics are when people make a sound to express something like a gasp or sigh. The final component of non-verbal communication is haptics, the communication by touch. Research shows that as you grow successful in life, like getting promotions, greater success in business life, or higher financial status. This leads to an overall decrease in empathy. The good news is that empathy is always recoverable. Better yet, as you grow powerful in life, as you rise through the corporate hierarchy, don't forget your empathy. Always be humble. Never confuse humility with weaknesses. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. Strategies to improve social management skills. The social management skills are the last and largest piece to improve your EI puzzle. Social management skills, being the vastest of the five subcategories, covers various skills: persuasion and influencing skills, communication skills, conflict management skills, leadership skills, and collaboration and cooperation are some of the skills that combine to make social management. Persuasion skills are the art of convincing others, convincing them to follow your ideas or follow a course of action that you propose. This skill holds paramount importance in the professional arena as well as in your personal life. To be better at persuasion, you need to read the emotions of the people in the current situation and then plan your proposal and the words and ideas that you are going to express. Chronemics is the art of saying the right thing at the right time. Read how the other person is feeling at the moment and make your proposal at the right time so that they readily accept what you say at home and in your friends circle. There are many times when you have something to say or a proposal to make and you just can't get your head around how you are going to get everyone on the same page as you. In all interpersonal relationships, there are going to be times when the two related people have different goals or wishes. Persuasion skills are therefore crucial for you to make sure that you can find either a compromise between the different paths or a better way that effectively fulfills both people's needs or wishes. Communication is key. Learn to listen genuinely. Learn to speak effectively. A good communicator listens well to what is being said. They make sure they understand what the other person is saying. They are equally ready to hear about any bad news and not just the pleasant things. Another important aspect is to deal with problems immediately. A good communicator does not allow any tensions to fester between them and someone else. Using harsh language or being unable to control what you say in anger or frustration is an indicator that you lack of communication skills. First of all, this displays a lack of self-awareness, self-regulation, and thus a lack of relationship management skills. Imagine yourself in an argument with a friend and in the heat of the discussion you happen to say things that hurt the other person's feelings. Even though in your mind you are right, it doesn't matter unless the other person's feelings. It doesn't matter unless you convey your message properly to the person at the receiving end. Here are some steps that can help you to improve communication in your relationships or friendships. Stop assuming. It is very easy to get yourself worked up and make assumptions in your mind without ever reaching out to the other person. Assumptions can lead to a greater misunderstanding if not dealt with early on. Second point, listen. Communication isn't all about talking. It also is about listening actively. An active listener is someone who listens to what the other person has to say rather than get defensive and start responding to them without thoroughly understanding their point of view or why they are saying such a thing. Third point, talk about problems beforehand. Clearing out things before they actually happen is a great way to deal with issues in your relationships. Don't just wait out for something to happen or a friend to ask you what is wrong. Clearing things out beforehand ensures that you stay on the safe side and that you don't face any inconvenience. If you are anticipating that you have a stressful time coming up ahead, reach out to the concerned person beforehand. For instance, when you have family stress, saying to your partner that they should know what is going on and that you might act out will simply straighten things out for you. Fourth point, use the magic word. Thank you. Gratitude is an excellent way to build intimacy in your relationships. The closer you are to the other person, the better, and gratitude is your way to go. Conflict management skill is a crucial skill to have for your personal and professional life. The first step is to be aware of the significance of diplomacy and tact and how you can use these to deal with difficult situations. Good conflict managers are able to bring the disagreements out into the open and then deal with them. You should encourage the sharing of emotions because even after you have resolved the overlying problems, you need to share how you feel. The best way to resolve a conflict is to obtain a win win situation in the end. Completely suppressing the viewpoint of one side is harmful in the long term. Both the parties in a dispute should be satisfied by the end. Some people work well with others. They can build excellent and productive working and personal relationships. This is a critical skill for emotional intelligence. When working in a team, try to see the relationship between colleagues to be as meaningful as your task. You should value your people as much or more than the goal. Actively collaborate, share plans and ideas to create a better team. In doing so, you promote a cooperative environment in which everyone contributes actively. Conclusion. Aristotle said, anybody can become angry. That is easy. But to become angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and it is not easy. This quote summarizes the secret to AI. Everybody cannot become emotionally intelligent. Only the people who strive to get better, to be a better friend, to be a better colleague, and to be a better life partner can become emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence empowers you to turn your life around, but you still have a choice to use AI to become a better person who helps others or to use AI to become a manipulative person who uses others. Your goal behind taking either of these two approaches will almost always be of creating a better life for yourself. However, you should remember this that by taking the path of manipulating others' emotions for your benefit and at the end of the day, you will have achieved nothing. In reality, you will have made things even worse for you because whatever you do, good or bad, it comes back to you. Your goal should be to make everyone fall in love with you. Being so considerate, so compassionate, so empathic that everyone around you craves your company. As you start incorporating AI in your life, slowly you will notice that you are becoming the center of attention wherever you go. Everyone wants attention. They want to be with someone who understands them. To put it short, AI makes you an attractive person. So friends, ఇదేంటి ఎమోషనల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ బుక్ యొక్క ఆడియో బుక్. So friends, if you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel and please comment the below about the video. Thank you for watching.